Tu t'es déplacé, toi?
Are you all right, Miss Shun?
My name is Xiao Shun. This is the proper way to address someone in my country.
I do apologize, Xiao Shun. Are you all right?
Yes, I am. This is the only place where I can find some kind of serenity. Some way to remember my dear Matthew.
You should go home now.
No, not yet. I miss my dear Matthew so much, and I can't forgive myself.
Tell me how your husband died, Xiao Shun.
Matthew died of the Spanish flu, like so many others. It's a mundane cause of death these days, but for me it meant the end of the world.
At this time, there is so little medical science can do to defeat this terrible epidemic. I'm truly sorry.
The worst thing is not his death, even if it tears me apart. The worst is not to have seen it coming, to have lost him so quickly, even before realizing it.
Did he hide his condition from you?
Matthew was a smiling type, a happy sort. Everything that I am not. Did he laugh at his death to come, or did he not realize what was going to happen? I'll never know.
The Spanish flu may be the worst disease mankind has ever faced. Why are you blaming yourself?
You don't understand. I didn't know he was so sick. I didn't realize the gravity of his situation until it was too late.
As harsh as this sounds, we are all equally vulnerable to this awful disease. It can take the strongest man in just a couple of days.
I never said goodbye to Matthew. We never realized how bad it was. We laughed about it even. He always made me laugh. Now I don't have enough tears to shed.
Goodbye, Xiao Shun. Maybe we'll talk later.
In the name of Christ, someone help me! You! What have you done?
Vicar Larrabee, what happened?
Demon! Hell scourge! Son of perdition!
Vicar! Jonathan's no demon. He's just a soul. Returned from the dead. Like your Christ, Vicar.
Mary, is it really you?
Oh, it's me, all right. Precious brother.
Elle a envie.
What is Mother doing here?
I'm gathering the family for a final reunion. All smiling, all dead. Thanks to the good Dr. Reed.
Mary.
Mother, say hello to your son.
Hello, Jonathan.
Mother,
What do we have here, Mother? The prodigal son has lost his tongue. Our Jonathan always had the first and last word at dinner. The entertainer, the star of our show.
I'm sorry. Let me explain.
Shut up. It's my turn to do the talking. I have this nasty hole in my chest, Johnny. It needs to breathe.
Of course. You can speak.
My prayers went so long without an answer. My husband, killed in France. My child, carried away by the flu. My brother promising to return in his letters, then disappearing in thin air. I went from hospital to hospital. Cemetery to cemetery. Grave to grave. I've lifted every stone in London, searching for an end to the nightmare. And there you were, in front of me, on a dark pier.
The hunger had taken me.
The joy to have finally found you. I longed for your arms, a final happy ending to so much tragedy, to tell me all would be well again, as you did when we were children. It was this filthy dock where you greeted your sister. I dug a tunnel from my grave with my fingers and teeth.
Mary, I thought I had murdered you. I tried to end myself. We've been through the same horror.
We are a disease, Jonathan. A sickness that corrupts all it touches. All we kiss, and all we kill. Look at me. Admire your ilk.
I'm so
Comment est-ce
sorry.
qu'il l'a transformé par contre?
Apologies will not suffice. I demand reparation. I want a miracle. Are you a miracle worker, Dr. Reed? No? I'll show you mine then. The family Reed, reunited and complete, living forever in a red sea of eternal love. Time to go, Mother. Say hello to my son for
Mary,
me.
wait. I have made friends with vital knowledge. Vampires. We are not alone, Mary. With time, we can learn to live almost as we lived before.
How long?
What?
How long will this masquerade continue? I've been watching you. All these nights in Whitechapel pretending you're still a doctor. You believe you're just fighting a disease. But it's you, the disease. Jonathan, you!
I'm a scientist. I'll find a solution. Let our mother go, please.
You're always the one to sway me to reason, Jonathan. But before, your motivations were always pure. Now you're tainted.
Let her go! She has no part to play in this.
Very well. Have you heard our good doctor? You can go home, Mother. Go home and rest in peace.
Yes, I'll go home and rest.
It's so easy to make them obey or forget. Puppets for our pleasure. I've seen you have your fun.
You are mad.
So that's what I am, Doctor. Mad. I was beginning to wonder. I've been hearing these voices in my head. One in particular. That of my dead brother. This is the reason I must kill you. Not for your betrayal. Not for our poisonous kiss. Not even for the lies you tell yourself. No. It's so that smooth and wicked voice will stop ringing in my ear.
Mary. No, don't!
Time to die, brother. And this time for good.
D'accord.
Killed me, brother.
Wow.
What have you done?
Elle vomit du sang et tout. C'est dégoûtant. J'ai l'impression qu'elle a plus... Wow. D'accord, il était temps que je parte en vrai. Mais par contre, ça lui a presque rien fait. Oh, oh, oh! En vrai, c'est un peu injuste parce que Jonathan n'y peut rien non plus. Est-ce que ça marchera comme ça? Ou pas?
Kiss me again, sweet brother.
C'est ce que je vais te faire là, non? Ah ouais. Elle fait mal avec sa truc.
I'll do to you what you did to Dorothy Crane. Kiss me again, sweet brother. Give me your blood, priest.
Oh!
Final thoughts are just to die for.
Aïe. Elle m'a fait un thé en plus. Non, c'était pas ce que je voulais faire. Oh, damn it! Mais... Oh, ça fait mal. Une fois que t'es pris là-dedans, c'est fini. Aïe! Wow, d'accord. Ow! Ow! Eh! Voilà, c'est ce que tu voulais, non?
Abomination. I'll do to you what you did to Dorothy Crane.
Par contre, mon ultime, il lui fait pas énormément de dégâts en vrai. Hein.
Kiss me again, sweet brother. Give me your blood, priest. Assassin! Their final thoughts are just to die for.
Oh nice! Vite! J'arrive pas souvent à la choper. Mais... Mais t'as fini!
Rest in peace,
Oh là là, mais non, mais ce truc-là, c'est très difficile là. Nice.
Kiss me again, sweet.
Nouvelle phase.
I'll show you the same kindness you showed Sean Hampton.
Ouf, ouf, ouf. Non, non! Oh putain. Ah, mais non. Ah, elle est dure, elle. C'est toi, l'abomination. Mais j'avais appuyé, c'est quoi cette blague? Mais bouffe! Ah non, là je suis plus gentille là, il y a des fois où...
I'll show you the same kindness you showed Sean Hampton.
C'est pas vrai. Non mais je vais pas mourir comme ça, la tuerie ou quoi? Non, c'est pas autorisé ça. Vas-y. Oh putain. Non, non! Putain, non! Non, non, non! Putain. Non, mais... J'étais presque à la fin! Vas-y, bof!
Kiss me again, sweet brother.
Mais... Jonathan! C'est une blague. Non, mais j'y étais presque!
Killed me, brother. What have you done? in peace.
Ah, enfin, punaise. Fou. C'était chaud, hein.
Well, brother, it's time to bring this conversation to an end forever.
You know I will not play this game.
Calm now, Doctor. Like a rabid dog. Or think you're performing an autopsy.
Don't be ridiculous.
I'll kill them all. The kind Dr. Swansea. The sweet little lass with hair of red. I am the Harbinger, bringing your punishment.
Mary.
Don't you see? This is not me. Flesh that never ages. All nightmare, no dream. Bring it to a close. Let me sleep.
I will find a cure, Mary. I swear it.
Then, at last, I can forgive you.
Mais elle est vraiment morte ou elle va revenir encore une fois? Ah, et c'est moi qui la porte en plus. Mais comment est-ce qu'il l'a transformée? Elle a pas bu son sang en fait. Enfin, si, il y a qu'un seul moyen. Comme il a été blessé et mordu et qu'il avait du sang sur sa chemise, est-ce qu'elle n'en aurait pas un petit peu bu du coup? Bah, il y a que ça en fait. Mais bon. C'est moi qui faisais avancer Jonathan, hein. Quelques nuits plus tard. En vrai, j'ai de la peine pour Mary, mais le truc, c'est que elle m'aura bien fait rager quand même, j'avoue.
Blood. As I shed one last red tear for my fallen sister, I realize the entire world now revolves around this singular word. The epidemic that has stricken London is not the Spanish flu. It is transmitted through the blood, via violent biting, turning survivors into frenzied immortals. I am Dr. Jonathan Reed. I am a vampire, born anew into an age of death and pestilence. While plotting factions close in around me, I am sworn to find the source of this epidemic. I am convinced greater perils are still to come. I know the answers I seek are hiding in our blood.
Bon. Invitation de Lady Ashbury. Cher Dr. Reed, j'espère que cette lettre vous trouvera rapidement, car j'ai besoin de m'entretenir avec vous le plus tôt possible. Vous trouverez attaché à cette lettre un laissez-passer officiel qui vous permettra de franchir n'importe quelle barricade ou poste de contrôle de la quarantaine dans toute la ville. Votre amie, Lady Ashbury. Ok.
Strickland's project could be dangerous. I have a mind to report him to Dr. Ackroyd.
Ah, placebo.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Alors, est-ce que je peux te parler des événements du coup?
Jonathan, old chap, how are you tonight? I've seen little of you of late.
I was conducting research in my room, away from the nightly routines.
Of course, of course.
Worry not, I understand. The situation has been testy around here. I won't deny it, but we still stand.
I have received an alarming letter from Lady Ashbury. She wants me to meet her at her house. I have been granted safe passage.
Then you are twice fortunate. I have never been invited to the lady's mansion. And with the quarantine and controls, city access is nigh impossible.
What news do you bring?
The news is not good, my friend. We try to keep the epidemic at bay, but street violence is escalating quickly.
Tell me more about the violence.
Geoffrey McCallum seems to have sent his war dogs on a hunt. On a nightly basis, Pre-Wen patrols exterminate every skull and vampire they find.
Have they come closer to the hospital?
No. They mainly focus on fallen districts or abandoned buildings. But they're growing in numbers. They must be recruiting heavily.
Bah, en vrai, tant que c'est les skulls dangereux qui agressent tout le monde, c'est pas une mauvaise chose, mais qu'ils agressent vraiment tout le monde, ça c'est pas bon du tout.
How bad is the epidemic?
It is killing the infected patients faster. In less than 2 days now. The only blessing is that they are contagious for a shorter period.
What about the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole? Where are they?
There are only a few of us, and most others would not speak to you. I am the black sheep of our brotherly flock, you know.
Je peux rien dire à propos de ma sœur que j'ai dû combattre parce qu'elle est revenue en vampire. Rien du tout. Je suis déçue là.
Thank you, Edgar. We shall speak again later. Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas? What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
Beauty is not everything, Mr. Elwood.
Says Mr. Pretty Face.
Oh! Ok, bon, il est pas content.
Soldier, do you need assistance?
Not really. I think I caught something in this bloody hospital. I swear I'm dead, yet smiling inside, Dr. Reed.
As long as you remain here, I will make sure you don't have to worry about your health.
Don't think you can do much about it. Damage is done.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
J'ai pas découvert grand-chose pour elle.
Do you need medical help yourself, nurse?
I'm afraid I've contracted some illness, Dr. Reed.
Not under my watch, nurse. Take this. You'll feel better.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm afraid I do. Like everyone in this hospital. It's a sad state of affairs when even the hospital workers are worried about disease.
Our job brings us into contact with all kinds of infections, Milton. There's no shame in being ill while you're in a hospital.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. I get the feeling you don't fall sick often. And thanks, anyway.
Goodbye, Milton. Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
I have managed to improve the mixture by diluting it. Have you ever heard of Sir Joseph Francis Olive, or the placebo effect?
No, I don't think so. Why?
A placebo is a substance or procedure that has no actual physical effect.
You made a placebo of my project. Why?
Research has established that a placebo as long as the subject believes in the effect, can provoke a positive physiological reaction.
Really? That's fascinating. And you want me to, what, administer the placebo and see what occurs?
Something like that, yes.
Well, I'm a bit surprised, but I trust you, Dr. Reed. Please take the key to my cabinet and put this placebo there for future use.
En vrai, vu comment il partait, je me suis dit, il va pas être content. Et je vais perdre un indice sur lui, mais pas du tout, il est content. Tant mieux.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Bon, à toi.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Ouais, bah ça va.
Do you think Dr. Strickland has any chance of curing the Spanish flu by himself?
His wish to cure the sick is not driven by pride, but by an idealistic view about our mission here. Honestly, I don't know which is worse.
You consider him a good practitioner, yet you will not report his methods.
Strickland may be a rival, but I will not use dirty tricks or regulations to prove him wrong. We are doctors, not politicians.
Do you need my assistance?
Don't be ridiculous. I'm capable of dealing with this myself. I've just not taken the time to do so.
Then you are lucky that I have taken the time to do so. Consider it a gesture of solidarity between professionals.
I wish this hospital could have received as much attention from you, Dr. Reed. We do not see you in surgery very often.
Lui, il aura peine pour foutre un coup de gueule de temps en temps, hein. On adore.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Alors toi, t'es malade aussi.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
Really? Why has no one else asked me that since I got here? I thought I was in a hospital.
Unfortunately, you are not the only person who needs help. And complaining about it won't do you any good.
Well, perhaps you're right, Dr. Reed. I'm sure if me missus was still alive, she wouldn't be happy with me going on like this.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
My sweet girl.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Do you realize your son could try to kill himself again? He might succeed next time.
I think about it every minute. But I won't stop fighting for my son's future. That's how much I love him.
You're right. Your son's death was not fatal. And unlike many on their own, he is lucky to have you by his side.
I can't give up on him. I just can't. I have conceded many times in my life, but giving up on my son is something I am incapable of.
Do you require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
Do you know you're the only one who's asked me this? No, I don't feel well, actually.
Despite what you think about this place, I can tell you with absolute certainty, taking this will help you recover.
Well, at least your reputation seems well deserved. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for this hospital.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Ah, ils reviennent d'un endroit, eux.
Hello again, Mr. Blight.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. You doing your rounds as usual?
Are you concerned about the living conditions in the city?
Of course I am. I'll be stuck here for as long as Oswald refuses to go to hospital. And, unfortunately, it seems the violence is rising.
What kind of violence?
I believe people have armed themselves and started to attack those that show signs of contagion.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
Afraid so. In the war, I was always worried about picking up something, getting some infection. Unfortunately, got that fear in London now.
Throughout history, some diseases have done more damage to armies than any weapon created by man. You are wise to be careful.
You're working at the Pembroke Hospital, aren't you? That's a good enough reason for me and Oswald to go there.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself.
What a
Watch yourselves! There's one of them! Bloody leech!
Oh, j'avais pas vu. J'ai eu de la chance. Oh, t'es sérieux? On est de la même... Enfin, pas de... Oh, putain. Mais genre, d'où il m'a touché, c'était juste à côté. Ça suffit maintenant. Tu me saules. Ah, ils sont casse-couilles.
Good evening, sir. It's me again.
Leave me alone, I say, whoever you are.
It cannot be safe for a blind man to live here alone. Let me enter, sir. I swear I mean you no harm.
Well, a voice never lies, and yours clearly is the voice of a gentleman. All right, Doctor, come on in.
What kind of gentleman pays visits to people at this late hour?
Bon, au moins on a réussi à rentrer, c'est déjà bien. On va lui parler.
So what is the name of my nocturnal visitor?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. As I already explained to you, I'm inquiring about the epidemic.
Dr. Reed? The eminent surgeon? My God, I'd never have expected a brilliant physician like you to knock on my door.
You flatter me, sir.
No, sir, I am flattered. I read all your work when I still had my sight. I loved it. I'm Mason Swanborough, by the way.
Do you know Braille, Mr. Swanborough?
I'm no expert, but I learned it in my spare time, yes. Why?
I found a strange document entitled Cure for Blindness. It's written in Braille, so I thought perhaps it was yours.
Really? Is that some kind of sick joke? Let me see.
Here it is.
This letter seems authentic. And it actually refers to an experimental cure for blindness. You have piqued my interest, Dr. Reed.
Could it be of any use to you?
No. This page is just a part of a larger diary. I'd be glad if you could find the other pages.
Does someone take care of you in this isolated place?
My sister Loretta and I have our daily routine. Every morning and evening she comes by so we can talk and eat. Then she leaves and I stay.
Do you not appreciate your sister's visits?
Loretta is the best and worst thing that happened to me. And I believe she could say the same thing about me.
Where does your sister go?
Well, let's just say, she earns enough money for us both.
What's so amusing about that?
I won't hide the truth from you. Loretta sells a fake miracle elixir to the sick people of Whitechapel.
D'accord, cette fameuse Loretta, oui.
Goodbye, Mr. Swanborough.
D'accord, je peux pas encore le soigner, mais j'en apprends un peu plus sur lui. Les vampires se nourrissent de nos âmes. Les vampires se nourrissent de nos âmes. Les vampires boivent du sang, mais ils se nourrissent de nos âmes. Comment croire que les hommes et les femmes qui se font tuer par ces immondes créatures, qui se font mordre par leur bouche répugnante, pourront être acceptés au paradis? Non, leur corps a été souillé et leur âme a été corrompue. Leur place est en enfer à présent, aux côtés de ces légions de démons suceurs de sang. Les vampires se nourrissent de nos âmes. Ah, sérum de sang léger, une étrange formule. C'est peut-être ça. Il bouge. Aouh! Mais... genre, il m'a fait une triplette, là! C'est ici? Ouais, c'est ici.
This man's far too old to be Samuel. No. By the look of his clothes, this man's a docker. Samuel isn't here. I had better follow the blood trail.
J'ai même pas suivi les traces de sang, j'ai juste suivi la tête de l'endroit où se trouvait la quête. Bon. Nice. Cette attaque est quand même vraiment puissante, hein. Oh, Samuel. D'accord, j'ai trouvé Samuel, mais Samuel est devenu un Skrull. Super.
As I feared, Samuel no longer preaches the good word.
Du coup... En vrai, je peux faire ça. J'aurais pas utilisé mon suprême juste comme ça, mais... En vrai, il est tellement... Journal intime. 12 octobre. Le père Whitaker est si vertueux, si plein de compassion et d'amour pour ceux qui souffrent. Ses paroles sont tout ce dont la ville a besoin. Je ferai le souhait d'être capable de sauver autant d'âmes que lui, car c'est un réel privilège que d'être témoin de tels miracles. Les femmes étaient si faibles et malades qu'elles n'ont même pas pu bouger lorsque j'ai versé le pétrole sur les couvertures. Leurs âmes sont maintenant purifiées. J'ai tellement hâte. 3 autres âmes ont été lavées de toute corruption ce soir. Si ce n'était pas présomptueux ou une expression d'orgueil coupable, j'oserais dire que nous sommes sur la voie de grandes choses. De grandes choses horribles, ouais. Et t'as rien à dire sur ça, Jonathan? Tu me déçois. Bon, du coup, rendre compte au pape Whitaker. T'es malade aussi,
Hello
mais...
again, Xiaoshun.
Hello again, Dr. Reed.
How do you feel? Physically speaking, I mean.
I don't feel good, Dr. Reed. Not at all.
You should recover quickly after taking this.
Thank you, Doctor.
Are you a doctor yourself? Is this why you feel so guilty for not saving your sick husband?
No, I am not. But I still need to blame someone for Matthew's death. And who else, if not his wife, who did not see it coming?
I'm a physician, one of the best in the country. But I was unable to save my own sister, Mary. She died in my arms.
Why tell me this? Is it supposed to make me feel better?
She will rest in this cemetery forever. And I'll spend eternity hoping that she can forgive me.
May I ask what caused the death of your sister?
You could say she was also killed by a terrible disease. A disease I have sworn to fight and cure, no matter how long it takes.
Thank you for sharing that with me, Dr. Reed. Maybe it's time we start to rebuild our lives, you and I.
Goodbye, Zhao Shun. Maybe we'll talk later.
Viens ici. Il sait ce que je vais lui dire, il s'enfuit.
It's Father Whittaker, my son. So, are you still lost in your rational delusions?
Tell me the reason why you despise Joseph Larrabee so much, Tobias.
A faithless shepherd is the worst criminal, for he leads his flock to the abyss by disregarding the right path. God smote this man, for he doubted.
I only met him briefly, but he seemed a dedicated man who tried to provide guidance.
Do you not believe in punishment, my son? I am not talking about the law of men. I am talking about judgment from heaven.
Bon, si je parlais au nom de Jonathan, ça serait je ne crois qu'en la science, même si elle est fortement ébranlée due à sa situation. Où nous sommes nos propres juges. Allez.
I believe that we are, as men, our own judges, juries, and executioners.
Armageddon is upon us, Dr. Reed. The final battle where every soul will be weighed. I'm afraid yours will burn for a long time.
I have found Samuel, your disciple. I am afraid I have bad news.
I already expected the worst. He should already have come back. He is dead, isn't he?
Yes, he is now. The epidemic took him.
Samuel steadily made donations to our cause. He would have rewarded you himself if you'd found me in that awful cemetery. Please accept this money.
Oh, lui, on va le laisser dans ses divagations.
I have had enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Lui, je crois qu'à la moindre occasion, je le bouffe parce que franchement...
Hey, psst, vous êtes où?